Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for my Easter card series. Now today I'm making a card using a stamp set from Gerda Steiner Designs. It's so cute. It has cute little bunnies on there, and it's actually a birthday stamp set, but we're going to create an Easter card using this. And I love that little bunny that's blowing a kiss. We're going to use him. And then today we're also going to use a 6x6 paper pad from Doodlebug. This is the Spring Things collection. Very cute. A lot of fun, soft colors in here. Great for Easter cards. So we're going to jump in and just grab a couple of the pattern papers. We're going to grab the orange one with the flowers here. It has little white flowers on there. It's so pretty. And then we're going to grab this green one. On the reverse side is some blue polka dots, and I think those will go really good together. Now I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock and then my stitched rectangle dies, and we're going to cut a panel out. And this panel is going to be 3.5 inches by 4 3/4. We're going to cut that out, and then along with that panel we're going to cut out a partial panel with the orange pattern paper, and then we're going to cut out a scallop with the green pattern paper, and then a thin 1/4 inch strip with the green pattern paper that's the blue polka dot on the reverse side. We're going to use the reverse side here. Okay, now we're going to adhere. We're going to trim this down a little bit first, and then we're going to adhere this to the bottom of our white cardstock there. Once we have that done, the green scallop is going to go on the very top part, and then we're going to add the blue stripe right above it. This is a very simple card, but I think it turned out very cute and fun. Okay, now we need to stamp our sentiment. Stamp set didn't have an Easter sentiment in there, mostly happy birthday, but it did have a Hoppy. So I grabbed a Happy Easter block stamp from my stash. I've had this for quite a while, and I may have got this like at the dollar bin from Michael's, but I masked off the Happy, and we're going to ink up the Easter with some Memento Tuxedo black ink, and we're just going to stamp that right above our orange pattern paper there. And then we're going to grab that little Hoppy, we're going to ink that up and stamp it right above the Easter. So we created our own little Hoppy Easter sentiment. Okay, now we're going to do some more stamping. So I'm grabbing another piece of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock here. We're going to stamp the little bunny, and he is adorable. My goodness, he's so cute. Okay, we're going to stamp him with the same ink, and then we're also going to stamp the little carrot that's in the stamp set. We're going to stamp 3 of those. We're going to color in this little guy and the carrots with my Copic markers. The coloring was pretty basic. Now I was going to color him in just shading with a light gray, and then I decided, well, I'm going to add a darker shade of gray, and my pen kind of had an accident, so I wiped it off, and we're going to restamp this little guy, and then we're going to do some shading again. Now I started off with my darkest gray. Well, for him it's a C4, and then I'm going to add a C3 around my little bunny, and then I just decided that, well, I'm going to color my whole bunny gray. So I went in and finished off the coloring with a C1. I colored in his little cheeks with some pinks and the carrots with some green and oranges. Now, I think he looks adorable. Excuse me, sorry about that. Now, just to give him a softness, I think the flowers and the pattern paper were so dainty. I'm going to add a few dots of white around my little bunny. And you would be amazed what little dots of white do on a stamped image. It just adds a cutesiness to it. I'm going to show you close up what he looks like with the little dots. And I just think it just adds a little something to him. So I like that effect. Once we have that done, I thought it'd be fun today to do a little bit of foiling. So we're going to grab the sentiment and the carrots. I didn't cut those out yet. And then I'm also going to grab my Quickie glue pen. Now this glue goes on blue, but when it dries, it'll dry clear, and it dries tacky, so it works really great with foiling. The foil that I'm going to use is from Heidi Swap, and it's meant to be used with the Mink machine, but I have a laminator, so I didn't invest in a Mink machine. But this is also a great way to use foil without a laminator or without a Mink machine. So I just went over the sentiment, and I'm going to go over the base of the carrots with my pen there. And normally I would just set it aside to dry, but I'm using my heat gun to dry it to speed up the process here. Now these are the foils I'm going to be using. I'm going to take a pale green, and I'm going to cut out a strip for the sentiment. And then I'm going to just trim it down a little bit, and I'm going to place that foil right on top of the sentiment. I'm going to face it with the color side up, and then we're going to do the same exact thing, but this time we're going to use some orange foil, and we're going to cover those little carrots. So we're going to cut out a thin strip, and then we're going to trim down 3 little itty bitty pieces to fit on top of those little carrots. This is going to add a lot of dimension without dimension, if that makes sense. Okay, now basically you just rub your hand over it and it will stick to the glue. And actually I rubbed the whole thing off, which was fine. It turned out really well. But you can see how neat it looks. And I did leave a little bit of the black showing, and I didn't mind that. I think it adds a lot of interest to the sentiment. I'm going to do the same thing to my little carrots. And here you can see that little shiny orange look. Looks real fun. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing to those little green carrot tops. We're going to add some glue. And I'm going to use my heat tool to dry it a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with that same green foiling that we used for the sentiment. And I'm going to add those little squares right on top of my carrots there to give them some shiny green tops. And I think that looks wonderful. Okay, now I'm going to fussy cut out my little carrots. And then we're going to build our little scene. Now I'm going to grab the scalloped edge here in our 1/4 inch stripe paper. And I'm going to take my tape runner and adhere my scallop on the very top portion of the orange pattern paper. We're going to trim off the excess here. Next, I'm going to use my Nuvo Deluxe glue pen, because this is a pretty thin strip. And I'm going to add some glue to the top part of my scallop. And then we're going to add the blue polka dotted strip right on top. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And I think those colors are so pretty. Now I'm going to grab some white jute cord. I'm going to use my tape runner and secure one end to the back of this panel. And then I'm going to wrap it around 2 times. Right below the blue pattern paper there. Secure it on the back. And then I did tie a double bow with that same jute cord. And that's going to go there. We're just going to grab a smaller glue dot to adhere that. To the right of my sentiment. Now we're going to flip over our little bunny. He's going to go right in the center where the knot of the bow is. And we're going to pop him up with some foam squares. And we're also going to pop up those little itty bitty carrots. We're going to put 2 at his feet. And then 1 on top where the sentiment is. And then we're going to flip this panel over and then add some foam tape behind there. This panel is going to go on a standard top folding A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And that's my card for today. Very simple and easy, but that foiling just makes it look extra special, I think. I wish you a fantastic day, guys, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.